Hi girl, welcome here. My name is Mercedes, and in this video, we will talk about baby sleeping, toddler sleeping, and I just want to openly share my experiences with the topic of sleeping, with the topic of maybe breastfeeding, trying to stop to breastfeed, and all the struggles, pains, wins, everything in between. So if you have anything to share from your point of view, from your experiences, or give me some advices, I really would appreciate that. So right now I want to experiment with a format where we can just have an open conversation when I bring a topic and we just talk about it freely as two friends sitting next to each other on a couch. So it's more like a couch conversation, like from my couch to your couch. So I want to create this safe space where we can just chat and just share the struggles and the inner works and the inner happenings of motherhood, because I feel this topic is very underrated and usually it's not talked about. So this is what I want to create in this channel, to have these conversation starters, to be able to help everybody to open up in these topics and just start to talk about the things that's going on inside the mother. Because usually the topic is what's with the baby, how is he or she doing, like how is he moving, how is he feeding, how is he sleeping, like all the practical details. What's up with the baby? Is he or she healthy? But like almost nobody asks what's up with the mom, like what's going on inside the mom. And it is so sad, first of all, and second of all, it would be so important to check back on yourself and just to understand what's going on in yourself, because when you become a mother, you actually change. So your cells, your body, your brain actually changes. So I just want to open up this conversation about this. I hope you will join me in this journey and just, get comfortable, and let's talk about today's topic, which is sleeping. Yeah. So I don't really have a good experience with sleeping. So this is why I wanted to start with this icebreaker. It is not an icebreaker topic for me, actually, because it's very deep water topic for me, because I've always struggled with sleeping and I always felt ashamed by the sleeping situation we have today and what we had. I just want to say first, we are co-sleeping. This is why I'm sitting in the bedroom, to show you the environment, or just, I don't know, it felt right for the topic. So I will just start from the very beginning, so from the birth. I was actually afraid of sleeping since the beginning. So I was afraid of nights. So because during the night, I felt like even like a bigger responsibility, because I was responsible if something goes wrong, because there's no like regular doctors, everything's closed for the night. I mean, there's ambulance, of course, but everything's always harder during the night when it's dark. At least this is how I felt and still feel. Like night is scary. And with a newborn baby, it was very scary for me. So even if everything went good during the night, if he slept and everything, I still like woke up every 30 minutes and I just needed to check on him and just check his breathing. I was very obsessed with checking his breathing, actually, because I was so worried that he would stop breathing. That was that was terrible, actually. So I was so worried during the night. And I remember, like, obviously I was super tired when the night came. And when I was standing in the shower, I felt this like how to say that, I had all these negative thoughts and I had all this fear coming up, because the night is here and we have to just survive till the morning. I went in total survival mode during the night. So I don't know if that's the same for you, or if that was the same for you at any time. But it was so scary for me. I just want to say that. And I think partially it must be because all the information and pamphlets and booklets that I read, like leading up to childbirth, and every one of them was mentioning like the bed situation is dangerous and the crib should be like this and that. You should not use blankets, pillows, whatever. And it was so specific and strict. So I spent my nights like waking up every 30 minutes or so and just checking on him. And then other and then obviously he was waking up in every hour, so I haven't slept too much because once he was waking up and he went back to sleep with feeding, and then I just couldn't sleep because I needed to check on his breathing. And yeah, it was just terrible. It got better after he started to be more comfortable with his body. So after he could just turn himself and just be like comfortable with on his belly, I was more relaxed, because then I would know that if something happens, he could turn himself and he wouldn't just have the face right on the bed and just cannot move at all. But at the very beginning, when he couldn't move and his neck was still fragile, I was checking on him constantly. So sleeping, and then also, I'm sorry if this video is kind of rambling. I haven't really planned what to talk about, so now I'm just like thinking about sleeping and just have these thoughts come up. I don't know if you like this format or not. Just let me know if I should just prepare for like a quicker list. But so far, I thought we can just sit down and chat, just ramble about anything. So I'm imagining that you're just doing your own thing, maybe breastfeeding, or have some time for yourself, or just put me on the background and you just do your cooking and anything. And so I can just, talk about anything, but let me know what are you doing right now, because then I can adjust the format to suit you, to suit our conversation. So I'm pretty much just experimenting here with this whole channel, with this whole thing. This is just a huge experiment for me. So at the moment, I feel like I can do anything, and I just need to try out different formats and different things. So here I am doing that. So back to sleep. So with the breastfeeding, I don't really want to talk a lot about breastfeeding here, because I don't want to trigger anybody, because I know it's also a hard topic and we should do like a separate video on it. But if I had to summarize it, I had a good start with breastfeeding. And now I feel ashamed, actually, because I have a good one, and I know a lot of other women had a terrible one. And now I feel ashamed that, yeah, I had a good one. I don't want to talk about it because I know maybe you have a traumatic one, and I don't want to come here like, yeah, breastfeeding is so easy. No, now I feel like, yeah, I'm not the person who should talk about that, because for me it started easily. Easily still means that I pumped like crazy. I sat and breastfed for hours and hours and hours. Like my son would breastfeed for 1.5 hours one time, and then we had 1 hour break and then start again. So obviously the whole day was breastfeeding. But I know like a lot of other women has it so much worse if they cannot start breastfeeding, or the society expectations is so hard to bear. I know it. But so back to the sleep topic. So I made him sleep with breastfeeding from the beginning, and I still do that. I have, as I said, 1 year and 9 months old baby. And now I'm starting to be frustrated and worried if I did the right thing. And I have no idea how to stop this and when should we stop this. So that's like a big thing that's on my mind. Like, is it normal that he still cannot fall asleep without the breast, which sometimes I'm fine with breastfeeding him to sleep. Sometimes it's just annoying because he wakes up during the night and wants to breastfeed 10 times during the night. And he's 1 year and 9 months. So it's crazy. Crazy because before having a child, actually, I thought like it's just the first 1 month, 2 months when the baby won't sleep through the night, and after that it will be over. So I just need to survive this sleep deprivation for 1 or 2 months, and then he will go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning. So that was my dream world. Like, but I think this is what I heard from my mother, from my grandmother, and everybody else, that yes, you just have to survive this initial months and then it will be easy and okay and everybody it will be happy. And I remember like when he was 3 months old, there was one night that he slept through, and I remember it because I was telling to a friend, and I was like felt this like internal like, bragging, like, yeah, my baby, 3 months old, and he slept through the night. So from now on, he will sleep through every night, I'm sure. And do you see now? We are 1 year, 9 months, and he doesn't sleep through the night. And at the beginning, I was also looking into sleep training and stuff, and we almost started it actually, but never started it. And he was sleeping in his crib for the first month, or not. So when he was very little, we had the crib next to the bed, and then I would breastfeed him and then just put him down. But he was very little, so he slept. Like that was okay putting him down. It was in the first month, I think. But after that, that was impossible to put him down. So we also started to, just dance with him and sing to him and then put him down. But no, you could not put him down to the crib. No. And this is where I discovered co-sleeping as a healthy way of sleeping. So I read researches about it and everything, and they were talking about how healthy it is for the bond through the family and with the baby. So the baby, even if we wouldn't spend time during the day, that's so good for the child to sleep with the parents, because then they still have some kind of connection. I don't really know how it's working, but they say that it's still like kind of like spending awake time together. Of course, not that good, but still better than sleeping separately in separate rooms, separate beds. So I went for it because that would be the solution for me. Because I was so tired of like getting up, breastfeeding him, trying to put him down, not happening, breastfeed again, trying to put him down, not happening. So the greatest solution that I could come up is breastfeeding while laying down and co-sleeping. So I would just lay down, breastfeed him, and then he can just go to sleep, and I could just go to sleep while he's sucking. And then we sleep, that was the greatest invention that I could come up with. So this is actually started, I think, at month 3 or something like that. We're still there. We're still doing this exactly the same. 1.5 years later, we're still doing exactly the same. So we go to bed. I breastfeed him while laying down. And now it's harder for him to go to sleep. So actually now, at first I started sitting up, and then when I see that he's getting drowsy, then we lay down, and then sometimes we have to change sides like 5 times, but after 40 minutes of this, he goes to sleep. Woohoo! What an easy way to go to sleep, right? And I kind of feel like a wrestling hippo or something like that. And yeah, that's life. That's my real life. Um, and it's just sometimes so hard because I'm just, so fed up with having my boobs out, and sometimes he's just laying next to me and starting to come up with the hand like everywhere, and then I'm starting to like put my blanket like between us, and I look like like a big sausage wrapped in a blanket, but only my boob is out, so there's like a little circle, and then he's sucking it, but I'm like covered in the blankets because I just, sometimes I just want to be alone and just want to be left alone, and this is how it gets hard for me because we sleep this close together. Sometimes it goes a bit farther, but then a lot of times, even if I'm just changing size, and he's like right here next to me, and I'm changing the size, he wakes up. Like, what? Please let me move. Just let me move. Like, I'm your servant during the night, during the day. This is how I feel. I'm sorry. Yeah. You see? Now I feel ashamed that I said this. But this is how I feel a lot of the times. Obviously, okay, I haven't stated that obviously I love him and everything. But why do I have to say this? Now I feel like there's a like if society and expects me to say that yes, I love my child and everything is the best and I cannot talk about anything else. But this is why I want to break this, actually, because I still see the patterns in my mind. I see the patterns how I talk to you. You see, I just said a bad mom thing that a mom should not say, that that I feel to a servant to my child. And then I immediately felt like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Should I just say that I love my kid? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to talk about this because I don't know how it comes through. I want to say these things, but this is the point of this conversation that I want to start with you, that we should be able to talk about the hard thing. We should be able to talk about the honest feelings that we have inside us, because this is where we can heal. And I want to heal as well, and I'm sure you do also. And I think we need this kind of conversation. So this is why I volunteered to start this. But yeah, so back to the thing. This is actually how I feel about sleeping. And I am confused and puzzled at the moment because I don't know how to break this habit cycle. I have no idea. And I know he should sleep in his bed. We still have his bed right next to my bed, but he never uses it. No, nothing. We just store clothes in it. He plays in it. Sometimes we play like put a blanket on top and he has his fort and everything, but he never sleeps in it. It's not a bed. It's just something that's right next to the bed, that's like prevents him to fall off the bed. I should figure out something very soon because in 3 months he will turn 2 years, and then I don't know, like if I feel like a 2-year-old is too big to continue this. I don't know if that's just expectations that's in my mind, planted in my mind, or if it's my real intuition. I'm actually confused with this now. What's real and what's just society telling me that a 2-year-old should not breastfeed anymore. But he really enjoys breastfeeding and he really enjoys bonding. And during the day, he also wants to breastfeed 3-4 times. And he really just loves it, and he loves to snuggle. And I also love those times when he just snuggles and just, starts to play with my head, with my face, just like, what's here? And then we just have fun, and he's just laughing, and it's kind of a little play. So there are aspects that I like, and I like to sleep next to him. I don't say I don't, but sometimes it's too much, But I also love to have him next to me. So it's not black and white. This is why I'm confused about this whole topic, and this is why I wanted to just have it out and, I don't know, ask for your advice or something, or just your point of view, or just hear your own experience, how it went for you. Where are you in this crazy journey of motherhood? Yeah, because now I don't know what to do, and he's starting daycare now. So he started a month ago, and he's not sleeping there, obviously, because he cannot really sleep without breastfeeding. Of course, he can fall asleep in stroller if we go somewhere, but he cannot just be still in a bed and fall asleep by himself, because he's not doing that at home, because we always do with the breast. And now it's getting challenging in the daycare, and we're stuck with this pattern that he goes there in the morning, but then I go for him and get him before getting to sleep, because that's just impossible at the moment. And then we come home, and then I make him sleep with the breast at home. So that is the mixed solution right now. So he's going to daycare, but we are still at home together. So I am stay-at-home mom, and I'm not. And then it's this transition period where there's no borders and there's no containers, which makes it very hard. Obviously, it would be very hard either way, but now it's just a confused mix, and now I also feel like a confused mix of everything. And yeah, yes. So this is the honest state of me at the moment. I hope you're doing better. I just wanted to say that. Obviously, co-sleeping thing, that could be beautiful. And if you're doing that, no shame. I'm also doing that. So that's just a nice thing and easy thing to do. But also it can be a drain to the relationship between the parents. At least I have a feeling like that. So yeah, we previously me and my husband would love to snuggle when we sleep, or just sleep close to each other. We had a much smaller bed before. And then when we started co-sleeping, we needed to buy this giant bed, because our son, twisting and turning, and usually he's my son has 2/3 of the bed, and then we parents sleep on the side, with these tiny places. So it's still crazy. So we bought this huge bed, but it's not enough for this co-sleeping journey. We're not enough for sleeping with a toddler. So with the relationship, and also, I don't know, you can always come up with different solutions. And I could always, after putting him to sleep, I could always go out and still spend time with my husband, which is also hard. Okay, now I will just tell all thing that hard. I'm sorry to dump everything to you right now. So what I wanted to say, as I mentioned, I'm putting my son to sleep with breastfeeding. First we sit up, and then we lay down, and then it takes around 40 minutes. Sometimes I read a book on my phone meanwhile, or watch a video. And but I became so sleepy that it's so hard to get up and go out and spend some quality time, and not just Yeah, I think I go back to sleep now. Time with my husband. So it's a challenge for me, especially nowadays. I'm so tired and I'm getting tired from the breastfeeding and just laying down in the dark. So a lot of times it's just easier to stay and sleep, which is also, I feel like, beneficial. Like sleeping is beneficial for me because in the morning I need to get up and be the mom, be the responsible person at home. You know, it's not an easy task. Yeah, but I think I will wrap this video up here. I'm really glad that I could talk with you, and I hope there was something useful in this rambling of mine. I really, really hope we can talk more. I want to hear your version of this. What's going on with sleep, breastfeeding, stopping breastfeeding? Yeah, another thing that when you start breastfeeding, everybody telling you to, breast is best, start best breastfeeding, and then you struggle a lot with starting and you focused a lot on starting it. But once you started it, like nobody is telling you how to stop it. And then that's the next challenge. So it was so challenging to start it. And now it's so challenging to stop it. So it's just, evil cycle. It's just hard. The beginning and the end as well. So let me know how it went for you if you managed to stop breastfeeding. I really hope to see you around next time. And if you have suggestions for topics or topics that you were hard for you, like situations that were challenging for you, I would love to dive in to those topics and just, share some nuggets. So have a nice day. And yep, see you next time.